Yeah, let's talk about the European football draws now, the Champions League and the Europa League draws we saw this past week. Was it on Thursday or Friday, if I'm not mistaken?
It was on Friday for Europa, Thursday for Champions
Thursday
League.
for Champions League. Now, Nigerian players are not left out. I mean, we're going to see a handful of Nigerian players in the Champions League. Now, we're going to talk about each group that involve Nigerian players. We're going to, analyze their chances in the group and what you make of the Nigerian players in each of this group. Now, let's start off with Group A in the Champions League. Now, we have Ajax. We have Liverpool, we have Napoli, and we have Rangers. Now, the one thing about this UEFA Champions League draws is there's a lot of reunions. We've seen players going back to their former clubs, getting to face their former teams and all that. Now, in this Group A, Calvin Bassey will be going back to the Ibrox to take on Rangers. That's his former team. I mean, I saw Ajax put out a picture of him reacting to the draws. You could see how was it kind of a shock or surprise? But I mean, going back to your former team, a team you loved and adored, they cherish you, and you're going back to that team to play in the Champions League. Now, Calvin Bassey is going to be involved in this group. Victor Osimhen as well. They've been drawn against Liverpool. That will be their first game.
If he doesn't move
at home to if he doesn't move, they're going to play at home first to Liverpool. Now, Ajax as well is going to come up against Napoli. Another battle there, Calvin Bassey, going toe-to-toe with Victor Osimhen in that fixture as well. So what do you make of the Nigerians in this group and their chances of making it through?
Well, hypothetically, Victor Osimhen doesn't move. It's going to be Liverpool and any of the three. I put the three clubs in equal footing because Rangers has got a European coach. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst was a Dutchman, and he's done well. He's built on whatever Steven Gerrard left for him to deal with. He didn't go on to win the league, but he's won the FA Cup, took them to the finals of the UEFA Europa Cup, and so let Joe Aribo go, let Calvin Bassey go, but still, they still managed to get into the group stage. 18 years it has been where the last time we saw them in the group stage of the competition. This is a club that 10 years ago were relegated to the fourth tier of Scottish football, and they won every division to come to the top and then go on to win the top division. In that period, Celtic reigned supreme. They were having the six infinity stone, at the snap of the finger, they were crippling everybody. But at the end of the day, they've come on and they've shown that Rangers is a team to reckon with, and I like what they've done. But right now, look at Napoli. Napoli have also reinforced properly and put the team going well. If they sign Cristiano Ronaldo, I would have to tip Ajax and Liverpool to qualify from this group. And I think that Napoli, again, will fall down to either last on the group or probably go and play in the same Europa competition that Cristiano Ronaldo is running from. But if they don't sign, let's say this transfer doesn't happen, I think it's going to be Liverpool and either of Napoli or Ajax. Ajax are good European campaigners. The body have also let some players go. Lisandro Martinez is gone. Pretty soon, Anthony is going, and a few other players might leave before the final.
Let Hela go as well.
Sebastian Hela, who's now had the cancer with Dortmund. All these players have gone. So if you look at them, would they be able to have that synergy, that understanding that they've got? But this is Ajax. Ajax always know how to get a fusion of young unknown players and make them super known. They're not used to spending big on players, but they know how to go find players. They are the Dortmund is the Ajax of the Bundesliga. They are the team that everybody wants to be like, but unfortunately the way their scouting system works, not too many people know how to decode that kind of system. I think that I'll make Liverpool the standard team here. They are also a very good European Champions League campaigners, and then it's going to be between Ajax and Napoli. But the dark horse in this group is Rangers. These other three teams are pretty much like equals.
All right, let's move on to Group B, where we have FC Porto, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Leverkusen, and Club Brugge. We have FC Porto, Zaidu Sanusi, of course, ever regular for FC Porto in that left back position, the Super Eagles left back. Another campaign in the Champions League. It was a regular in the Champions League for FC Porto last season. And Club Brugge, they just signed a Nigerian in this transfer window. He's a young prospect, actually. His name is Rafael Onyedika, who moved to Club Brugge from Midtjylland for I think 9 million euros as well. So two Nigerians in that group: Porto, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Leverkusen, Club Brugge. What do you make of the Nigerians there, Porto and Club Brugge? Their chances of making it through?
Porto are have not started the season like a house on fire, but they've managed to grind result. Atletico Madrid as well just got their second win yesterday, undeservedly, but they won against Valencia at the Mestalla. Leverkusen is also having a very terrible season. They are not really in their races. Club Brugge, to spend 9 million a club like Club Brugge spending 9 million is big money. It's like spending 900 million or 90 million, to buy a player. They must have seen something in Oyerika that made them to put that money out there. If you ask me, the teams that I think will qualify, this is the group that every team is not so solid, so it's going to be that kind of group where everybody will beat each other, draw against each other, and struggle at the very, very depth. Some teams will just use Ferro, let my people go to qualify from the group. But having said that, I'm going to look at this and say the experience of Atletico Madrid on Champions League night might come to bear. And then there is FC Porto.
I remember their game. They played last season as well. They were in the same group with Liverpool, FC Porto, Atletico Madrid, and AC Milan. Yeah. It was a tough game, FC Porto against Atletico Madrid. It was a tough game.
So I think this is how it's going to play out. Atletico Madrid will get the scrap of Bayer Leverkusen home and away, Club Brugge home and away, and then do a battle with FC Porto, maybe win in Spain and lose in Portugal, and FC Porto will do the same because they are very good travelers in the Champions League as well. Do the same against the other teams, and it's going to be Atletico Madrid and FC Porto qualifying. I'm sorry, Oyedika, for Club Brugge, but I don't think that they can go past the group stage. Getting to the group stage for them is big deal already. I don't think that they have a squad that will deal with the European night properly. They can surprise me anyway.
Hello guys, I'm Dr. Jamal. I'm from Ethiopia. You're watching Legbete TV Radio. Please subscribe.
Hello, my name is Dr. Nigam. I am from Pakistan and you are watching LBT TV Radio. Please subscribe.
Hi, my name is Abdullah Wali. I'm from Pakistan, the #1 country in the world in cricket. You're watching Legbete Sports TV Radio. Please subscribe.
Alright, they are the defending champions of the Belgian Pro League, so hopefully they make a statement in this year's Champions League. Now let's move on to Group C. This group is kind of funny because we have a Nigerian. He's a striker, more like a striker. His name is Fortune Bassi. He plays for Victoria Prison. And look at the teams around them.
They will just be the basement.
It's just a funny group. They have Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and of course, they're going to be the whipping boys of
Victoria Pleasant are going to be the observers here. I think that what the players of Victoria Pleasant can do and enjoy from this group that they find themselves is collect a lot of jerseys.
Exactly.
They have to collect a lot of jerseys
go
from
to the big
Inter Milan players, and tell the story of how they went to play at the Nou Camp, how they went to play at the Allianz Arena, how they went to play at the Giuseppe Meazza. These are stories that they can tell for eternity, the atmosphere that they experience on Champions League night in these venues. But I don't think, that they say football, sometimes the underdog can come with the element of surprise. But not to teams like Bayern Munich that are well honed, well sharpened for competition like this, and they always think that they have a point to prove. Inter Milan might not be the team, they're not really a Champions League team. But FC Barcelona with Xavi on the bench does look like Xavi and Lewandowski are a marriage made from heaven. Lewandowski still think he have many points to prove. Even though they would slow down themselves by playing against each other over two leg Bayern and Barcelona, that also means that Inter Milan and Victoria Pleasant will suffer because the strategy will be both of them will be saying we don't know if we can beat each other, but if we cannot beat each other, then let's make sure we get 12 points each from Inter Milan and Victoria Pleasant. So it's a case of fighting for 6 points against Inter Milan, fighting for 6 points against Victoria Pleasant. Pleasant will be the beautiful tourist, okay? Obedient tourist, and Inter Milan will be the stubborn tourist who comes in and tries to surprise you, and then at the end of the day you see how it goes.
So Bayern Barcelona to go through from that.
Absolutely.
Alright, now this one is quite a sad one. Is in Group E. We are not going to see Samson Tijani. He's out for long. It torn his tibia and fibula. That's a fracture in preseason. I think he's going to miss a huge chunk of the season. So they've been drawn with AC Milan, Chelsea, and of course Dynamo Zagreb in Group C. Now Group E. And finally Group G, where we have Copenhagen with Akinkumi Amor and Paul Mukaro. They've been drawn with Manchester City, Sevilla, and Borussia Dortmund. What do you make of Copenhagen's chances in that group?
Copenhagen again is that team you look at and you say to yourself, this group does look like the group where Copenhagen can, if they are bold enough, pull a surprise.
Pull a surprise, yeah?
Yeah, because Man City is the standard team here. Sevilla, Dortmund, Copenhagen also have not really started the season like a house on fire. Struggle as well. But on the long run, I do know that this is Champions League starting on the 6th of September. The thing about teams like Dortmund and Sevilla is that you don't judge them by their league form. They come into the Champions League and they are a different proposition entirely. The way they play is different. The way the setup is different. There are hardly teams who play low block in the Champions League. That's the beauty of the Champions League. So if you can set yourself with a little bit of confidence and push further, you can get something out of it. But unfortunately, I don't think that Copenhagen is that team to outdo Dortmund and outdo Sevilla. But Man City, top of the line there. I want to dare to say Sevilla is going to be the second team, even though they have not had a good season as well. But Sevilla know how to navigate their way through the UEFA Champions League, and I think it's what's the name of the coach now that they have? Lopetegui is their coach, and I think that he just might be the guy who would work the magic to get him out.
All right, for Akinkunmi Amo, I just need him to stay fit because he's had his injury worries from preseason down to it's not been a good start actually to his career at Copenhagen in Denmark, and he just needs to stay fit and have a consistent run with the team. But it's good to see him play Champions League football. I mean, looking at where he's coming from. Yeah. From Hababy, now he'll be playing in Champions League.
No, you say from Silos FC, just on the street.
Yeah. And now in Denmark, in Copenhagen, playing Champions League football. So yeah, these are stories you love to tell. And for Paul Mokari as well, it might not be known to a lot of you, but I mean, he's another decent player, and he's got to test Champions League football as well with Copenhagen. There's also the Europa League, Nigerians there, but I mean, we have to focus on the Champions League. Is talking about Nigerians in the Europa League, I'm going to do more of that on the Niger players GPS. Now, still on the Champions League, let's the fixtures. Let's talk about the fixtures now. First time in a long while, the group phase is going to be completed before the World Cup.
Yeah.
Don't you think this is going to tell on the players and the workload? I know Nigeria is not going to play at the World Cup, but I mean this is the compilation of the fixtures. How do you think that makes sense? Just to it's going to tell on the players before.
The thing is, they don't want the World Cup to be responsible for messing up the next season. So everything they're doing is they're trying their best to make sure. I mean, we just played weekend games. It's Monday night. We saw Monday night games in Spain, but today we're going to see midweek games again, and this is the season continues. It started with the end of last season. Normally, it is 90 to 92 days from the end of the season to the start of the season. But this season was less than 60 days, was less than 2 months. If you start counting from the preliminary rounds of the UEFA Champions League and the Conference League and the Europa Cup, and then the league proper, it was 75 days. So you see the difference in all of this. It tells you that this thing that we crammed together. But then again, if you consider the amount of money that is involved in football and all of these things, and the fact that there is not science, the traveling is easier, the stress has been reduced. Yeah, I know that not everybody gets used to cabin pressure or flying in the air because it compresses your lungs and all that. But truth be told, if you get paid what they get paid and get looked after the way footballers get looked after, you might not really complain that much. Okay, not everybody is playing in the Champions League. The fixtures have been drawn. This is a one-off thing. It's not something that would happen all the time. I think players can bear to adjust and know that they played 2 seasons in 1 season combined.
That's less than 3 months. Hopefully the players get to. And we've seen injuries coming in for some of these players.
That's why you need a mix one.
Yeah, World Cup threatening injuries for some couple of these players, and hopefully they get to pull through and represent their countries in the World Cup, and kick off the round of 16 next year in February, where the round of 16 Champions League fixtures always comes in. Yeah, good luck to all the Nigerian players involved in this year's Champions League. Hopefully they go far and do well in the competition.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.